Okay, now let's talk about battle techniques.
Uh-huh.
All right, teach me to get better, and teach everyone who's rank 20 and needs to get to battle rank 30.
All right, okay. So I guess that's your first big objective right here.
Somehow I managed to sneak my way into battle rank 30,
Oh,
but in case I drop.
all right, okay. So one of the first things that you might want to start thinking about is the number of arts card that you have in your possession.
Okay.
So earlier, I told you how every player has their own deck
Right.
of arts card. The content of the deck is actually influenced by the characters that you bring to battle.
Really?
Really?
See, I did see that, but I didn't pay that much attention.
All right, okay, so we got a really nice slide right here to show you so that I can explain to you how things are done. Look here, the combination of cards above, the 3 strike cards, 3 blast cards, 1 quark card, and 1 special move card. Those are default.
Right.
Everybody has those.
Right.
You can't get less of those. But beyond that, on the bottom of the screen, you might see the character statuses lined up, the screen that you never look at.
Look, I'm going to look at it now.
Each character has 2 cards that they are in possession of, and those 2 cards are added to the deck. And in combat, the cards are randomly drawn from your deck, and every time you use an arts card, it's sent back to the deck.
Okay.
Simply put, if you have a lot more strike arts card in your deck, you have a higher chance of pulling it,
Right.
and vice versa. Also, there are certain characters who have the special move arts card in their hand. Actually, the special move arts card is only held by a Hercules right now.
Well, I definitely have to make a team of him.
Actually, he's really unique right now in that sense too. You bring him out, you have 2 special move cards in your deck, so you have a higher chance of drawing that special move. And in fact, certain situations you might just have simply 2 in your hand.
Oh.
But unless you do that, there's only one card available in your deck. So this is where you start strategizing.
Okay.
Another thing about the arts card is characters have attributes tied to their arts card. So to put it simply, obviously, if you're Goku and you use a strike cards, it's blunt damage.
Right.
It's normal strike attack.
It's his fist.
Whereas Trunks has his sword, so it's slice damage. It's actually a different element of sorts.
Oh, okay.
There's no strong or weak relationship in that sense. There are certain special moves and such that boost specific attack types.
Oh, okay. That's really good to know.
Like the recently released Zamasu's special attack. When you hit the enemy with it, they receive more slice attack damage.
Oh.
So things like that starts coming into play here.
Yeah.
And also there's another special quirk, I would say, that certain characters have. Arts card have abnormal conditions that can be applied to the enemy when hit.
Right.
So, like Demon King Piccolo or Dabra, they have special cards that might apply poison or paralysis. So this is just the poison, bleed, and paralysis. Those are just simple examples of abnormal conditions that we have. The effects are fairly simple. Poison and bleed,
Right.
you take damage over time. You don't want to have that on your side.
Right, because eventually it'll just accumulate and then you're going to go down faster.
Yep. Also, another thing is bleed keeps on dealing damage to you even after you switch characters. So that's another annoying thing about it.
So another character will continue to bleed.
No, the original character.
Oh, okay. Wow.
The abnormal condition is tied to that character that
Okay.
receives it. And of course, everybody's favorite, paralysis. You randomly stop moving when you're paralyzed.
Yeah, I've dealt with that a lot.
It can definitely change the game when that happens. And certain special moves can cause it, or certain strike arts can cause it. Characters with specific effects like Chilled, the one that I don't have, might have paralysis tied to him and such. So you might want to maybe focus on certain characters with specific combination of arts card that you want to use. Like, let's say I like to use Bojack. Bojack really excels at Blast. So I want to make sure I have enough Blast arts card in my deck, so I deal the most amount of damage with them.
Right, because you don't want to have him just use melee when he's more
of a Blast arts oriented character.
Exactly.
As I said earlier, arts cards are basically a deck, and they're determined by the characters that you take into battle. So you got to make sure you put that into consideration. And also, let me show you some of the examples that I was talking about on my screen. So, another thing that you should definitely actually look at in the game. I'm going to be really annoying with this.
No, you're fine.
I have Majin Buu available right here. Let's look at the Arts tab. So you can actually see the Arts cards and what they do when Majin Buu activates it.
Right.
And right here, if you look carefully, next to the Strike Impact, which I said earlier is the type of attack damage that he will deal, you can see a 3x3 grid that shows what kind of attack it is.
Oh, okay.
So in terms of strike, the character will go dash in and attack the person in the middle row. In terms of blast, it shoots a straight line.
Right.
Very simple. And most special attacks, like the Kamehameha, also looks just like this.
Right.
Except in Majin Buu's case, he has a special move. It's called the Flame Shower Breath, and he deals damage to 2 rows in front of him.
I got you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I actually dealt with this with Janemba and wondered, why did my attack miss? It's because they were farther away.
Yes, exactly. When they're furthest away, when the enemy is not in range, this misses.
Yeah.
But if they are in range, or if they dodge, it will hit 100%. So, actually, let me show you some of that on the screen right here. So, the left side is my general strike and blast arts.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's in one row. Doesn't matter how far the enemy is. In fact, in terms of strike, the only difference it makes is the amount of time the enemy has until he can react. The further you're away, the more time he has.
Right.
It's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
And in terms of attack range, it says Nappa's Giant Storm here. In my case, I showed Majin Buu. He also has a special that covers 2 rows in front of him.
Right.
It's the attack where he flicks his finger and causes that humongous storm of just maelstrom.
Yep, where he destroys an entire city.
Yeah. Very casually, too.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, that kind of attack is very unique. Not many characters have it. And you also got to make sure you can tell who has it, or else in PvP, you might accidentally dodge it.
Or
you might just,
use it.
Yeah, just accidentally use it and not hit the enemy.
Yeah.
That's always just a waste, so... Now you know why Janemba didn't hit.
Yeah. So, instead of dodging for an attack like Giant Storm, would someone, if they backed up, would they be able to dodge it instead?
Actually, that's a very nice question. If you're in mid-range, if you swipe down and back away, you can dodge it. That is actually the best and the safest way to dodge it. But if you're in close range, you only have one choice.
Right.
Interrupt him. No, it's not just one choice as in you only get hit.
Right.
You can actually interrupt the enemy if you're in close range. The tap attacks that I told you earlier, those actually activate so quickly that they can interrupt special attacks if you are in enough range.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's really good to know.
So when you panic, don't swipe right or left against this guy.
Especially for an attack like that.
Yeah, definitely. Special attacks have different ranges. You gotta make sure you know what the range of the characters you're using are. And also you gotta make sure you know the character's arts card that they hold.
Right.
Of course, that is after you get a hang of how they play. So like I said earlier, 1 through 20, get a feel of who you like. Or what kind of party you feel comfortable playing as. So you know what your characters do.
Right.
And then after rank 20, that's when you start thinking about just the abilities and the equipments that you can put on your characters. Try to aim for a high battle bonus ability and high battle power. Just in general, those numerical values are a sign, a hint of sorts. We don't want you to say, just because I have higher power level, I can beat you. Obviously, there's...
That's totally how it works.
Well, Not necessarily. Not all the time.
Right.
It's a nice way to distinguish how powerful a team is. But And finally, the best way to get used to your characters is just take a look at these details.
Yeah.
Look at the arts card, what they do.
Read.
Read. I wouldn't say read everything, but just look at the favorite characters that you own and just see what they can do. Not just the attacks, but maybe the range.
Yeah.
Maybe the special abnormal abilities.
Look into the details for sure.
Definitely.
Well, that's a wrap for the third Dragon Ball Legends tips and tricks. It's a lot of good info about the equipment, about the abilities. So
Yeah, we couldn't cover that much in our in-app tutorial. So we wanted to make sure everybody got an idea of what those numbers mean and what they can do to make it better.
yeah, for sure.
But of course, we got a couple more. In fact, we're just at battle rank 30 in terms of where to aim at. So if you want to aim for higher, we got a lot more episodes after this.
Good.
Yeah. So I hope to see you guys next time.
Yeah. Later.